Hey everybody, David here, and I've got another exciting video. This day I'm going to show you how to install my Process Sentinel. This is a power app using the power of generative AI and a custom connector or set of custom connectors, one for Azure OpenAI as well as OpenAI directly. Today we're going to focus on just the OpenAI directly. It's a little simpler to set up in that I don't have to go set up the Azure account and go through a couple of extra steps and or layers. But today I'm just going to show you how to use it with the OpenAI directly. Now, this app does take both. So the nice thing about it is you can use this app for both use cases. We're going to introduce you to it, show you how to get it up and running, show you how to get it installed. And we just hope that, if you want a chat-like GPT experience within your workplace or enterprise environments that has compliance and logging, this is a free accelerator app for you. If you'd like any customizations or talk about, how to make it better or how generative AI can work in your company, then go ahead and reach out to me. At most of these websites and stuff or web pages, I have an area at the bottom of the screen that you can reach out to contact me here. I also have a book on prompt engineering, and that's over here at this other site called Info Curators. And here's a copy of that book. It's available on Amazon, and if I scroll down to this site, you can see down here that here's the paperback hardcover and the Kindle edition. So if you're interested in beginning and learning all of the different little nuances of prompt engineering and how to make this application better, pick up a copy of my book today on Amazon. Really appreciate that as well. While I'm at it, as I try to grow the channel rather, would like to get some likes and subscribes or shares. Just try to get this video out. Obviously, this is esoteric knowledge. Not a whole bunch of people, in the massive YouTube audience that exists out there, love the Power Platform as much as we do. So if you could help get the word out, that would really help me out a whole lot, and I definitely appreciate that. Okay, so let's get back over to Process Sentinel. Here's some of the screenshots of what the application looks like and does. That's a visual dashboard. This is the chat-like interface. It has history. The other thing it has too is a lot of different ways for you as a user to change hats throughout the day. This is a great screen right here that I'm on right at this particular moment. Let me go back to that just a second. But basically what this is, it's a wizard that allows you to set up multiple types of pre-programmed responses as well as situations that you might need generative AI for. You might be responding to an email, you could be looking over a resume. There's many different situations, but let me show you how to get this installed first, and then we'll actually go through here. So here's the download button. I'm going to go ahead and click it so that we can get it downloaded. It will take you over to my GitHub. If you've not used a GitHub, you can just simply copy everything over here and download the zip file. If you're interested in just getting the zip file, you can go ahead and click into the zip, but then click on this View Raw, and then it'll go ahead and download that zip file right there. Then the next thing that we're going to need to do is you're going to need to get into an environment. Now, the way that you install this, I've got this set up in a solution. If you're not familiar with solution, I've got several videos here on my channel talking about solutions, application lifecycle management, ALM. I even have an ALM masterclass here. But if you need more information, stop, pause the video here, go there. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. You're going to come over here and click on Solutions on the left sidebar, and what you're going to do is import the solution. You're going to browse to that solution file, which is this Process Sentinel that I just downloaded and did. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next at the bottom, and then at this point it'll just go ahead and you'll just choose Import, and you'll go through the steps. Now I am going to pause the video here because usually this can take just a couple of moments to go through, and once that does, we'll be back. We are now finally imported and everything's done. You can see up here it's been imported successfully. So now let's go ahead and click into this so we can show you the different components of it and show you the different aspects with regards to what's inside. You see that we have 13 objects inside, and most of them are going to be these tables, custom tables, and they're all prefixed with PS. So as you go through and you look at your custom tables, should be really easy to find these that belong to this app. In addition to that, we've got some choices or choice columns in here with choices. So if you need to make or modify the choices that's in the drop down, you just go ahead into these choices and edit till your heart's content. The other thing is there is a security role setting. The security role is also called Process Sentinel. And what you need to make sure you do when you share this app with users, you want to make sure you assign them this security role, or else they won't be able to interact and write or read data into this. So this security role is there. It's more of an advanced concept, but because we have custom tables in a custom app, this is set up to help control that. The other thing too that you'll see is you actually have the application and also along for the ride. This application, one of the unique things about it is I have two screens, and depending on how it's configured, it'll use one or the other. Right now you can use OpenAI directly, which is what I'm going to show you in this video because it's the least complex to set up. Not that Azure's implementation of OpenAI is hard, it's just there's a lot more steps, and I wanted to try to keep this a little bit simple. But if you're familiar with Azure OpenAI and you can go ahead and do that, just make sure that you'll change this inside of the application that I'll show you in just a few moments. But nonetheless, know that these are here. Now, we do have to go into at least the OpenAI connector, this custom OpenAI. And one of the things that we're going to have to do is add our OpenAI key, which I'm going to go ahead and create right now. We'll just call this PS to make it available. And by the way, I'll be killing off this key, so don't try to get funny and take my key because it's not going to work for you. All right, the other thing too is we want to go into this custom connector, and we want to deal with this custom OpenAI. So again, we're going to OpenAI, we're not going to use Azure. We're going to edit this, and the other thing that we need to do is to go into this definition up here under step 3 and come all the way down to this policy. I only have one, it's called authorization. And you see where it says bearer SK, your key here? Just delete everything up to SK. Make sure you have a space here, right? So leave a space, pop in your key, right? And then just hit update connector. As soon as you do that, it'll save the custom connector, and that's all you're going to need to do. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go in and edit our application. You don't have to. I just wanted to show you if you did use Azure's OpenAI, where you would do that. So let's come over here to apps. I'm clicking app on the left sidebar over here. And let's go ahead and edit the app. Now, one of the good reasons for editing the app, it'll try to ask you to establish your connections, which is good because that's going to come up in our next step that we're going to do. So whether or not you need to make this change that I'm about to show you in just a few moments, it's good to open it up because it gets this piece out of the way early. You will also get it if you try to play the app as well, but just wanted to try to keep things in order. So once you're inside of this application, the one thing you want to do is come over here to the app node. We got a couple of screens called loading, home. So if you're configuring this app for OpenAI, you'll land on this page. If you're configuring this app to go to the Azure's implementation, you'll use this page. But programmatically, this is all handled for you. And the magic happens over here in the application on start. And so this is where we set it. Right now, it's set to OpenAI. You either need to set it to Azure OpenAI or just OpenAI. So there's nothing to do. This is how it is out of the gate. In any event, let's just go ahead and we don't have to save because we didn't make any changes. But one of the things that we do want to do is come over here to connections. Now, a connection is something that you use a connector for, and we put 2 custom connectors in. And so when I went ahead and edited that app, I got these 3 connections. Okay, so one of the things that you're going to want to do under this custom OpenAI, when you share this to other users and or your organization, come under sharing, and I'm going to click add to everyone in my org. This button up at the top. Okay, so now what this does is it says everybody within the organization can use this connector. Now, the nice thing about this approach is that because I shared the connector and because I used the policy to put the key in, even though everybody else is going to use this connector, they don't need the key. The key can be centrally managed inside the custom connector. You don't have to share it with everybody. If you used in step 2 the key and then you shared it out, everybody's going to need their own key, and that's kind of a problem. There's other ways of doing it, but I don't want to get into it here. But nonetheless, you can share it with the org, or you can share it with groups, or you can share it with individual users. I'll let that up to you how you want to run your security, but nonetheless, I just kind of did the Hail Mary where everybody in the org gets it. But just know that you can use security groups, service principals, as well as email addresses of individuals, and then of course this Hail Mary one, which is shared with the entire organization. I'm going to go ahead and click Save, and with any luck, we'll now be able to come over here to the app, and I'm going to click the play button so that we can get inside the app. And I am in a development environment, so I'm getting this banner. If you don't do this in a development environment, then you won't see this. I'm just going to say hi because I want to see if I can get a response, make sure that everything's working okay. And it says, hello, how can I assist you today? Which means I do know that I am getting everything working and everything is good. Now, a couple of things to notate here. This is a end the conversation over here, so it resets the conversation. You click it, and it wipes everything out from the previous conversation and starts a new one. And then it flashes that saying, hey, the new conversation is ready. Here's a profile, right? It's just being a helpful assistant. But if I come over here to the hamburger menu, come and click on profiles, here's the profile that says I'm a helpful assistant. But if you want to, you can create a new profile, and instead of it, doing just you're a helpful assistant, you can set this thing up to do various tasks for you. So go ahead and click New, and then you'll run through this wizard, and you give it a name, and then this is where you freeform and write the text or the prompt. And this is where I was showing you my introduction to prompting, the book that I have on Amazon, because this will help you provide additional information about how to prompt or make a really good prompt. The other thing too is I got these accelerator things in here on the wizard because you can say what the role of this robot is supposed to be. Like there's a bunch of different options. Remember I told you about the choices? You can change the choices. Well, this is the drop downs that pertain to that. So if you don't like these and you want to add your own, feel free to do that. You make those modifications in the choices. Under tone, you can set the tone that you want this response to come back in. This is the language style of how you want to, have the writing come back. And then also how long you want it to be. Do you want it short? Do you want it concise? Do you want it balanced? Blah, 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 blah. You got a bunch of different stuff here. And then see, here's some more advanced options. Basically, this is saying how creative do you want it to get. Creative and the word hallucination you might hear, but they go hand in hand. All that means is that if you give the AI the capability in its response to be super creative or allow it to hallucinate, it'll come up with some pretty cool or off-the-wall stuff. So if you're trying to do something very specific and you're looking for a very narrow and specific outcome, you want to constrain that. If you're looking for, I don't know, help me write a blog post, help me write whatever, and you need it to be creative and creative writing, then crank up the creativity and reduce the amount of constrained. The max tokens is essentially having to do with the model. You can just keep it right there at 2000. It seems to be a good model. The only time you might want to change this is if you're putting what's called one-shot or multi-shot examples, and this is very long text. You might need to crank this max tokens up a little bit. But by and large, this is where you go ahead and you make these changes. And then when you go ahead and hit save, you'll get all of that written. The prompt will be written here freeform. Now, if you're excellent at prompt engineering, then you can just go ahead and write your prompt right in here, and you don't even need to use the prompt builder or the wizard, which is this thing that I showed you earlier. But nonetheless, as you create additional personas or profiles, you can decide which one is on, which then becomes your default profile, so that when you come over here to have a conversation with AI, it winds up showing up over here. Governance and compliance, everything that you type in here is going to come through into this dashboard. You'll have information about the user. You'll get to see what the user wrote. You can view the conversation in its thread. I don't have very much, so you just click on each one of these and you can see what was the question, what was the response. It tells you the amount of tokens. You can even restore and resume a conversation that was previously in history. And so all of this governance and compliance, all of this is stored in those tables that is in this particular application. So that's it for a quick whirlwind tour of this application, the prompt engineering book, the website. Hope you enjoy this free accelerator application. And again, if you need any help with making this application better than what it is out of the box, please go ahead and reach out to me. My company that I currently work with, Concentrics, will be coming along for the ride to try to help work you through any of those processes. I don't do really anything by myself or on my own other than like writing the book, so feel free to go to Amazon and do that. But just know that if you do reach out to me, I will be reaching out to you on behalf of the company that I work for. All right, and so that's it for this video. If you have any further additional information, please drop a like, comment in the comment box below. I try to respond to all of them within 24 hours. But you know, as the channel becomes more popular, that may change. In any event, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.